Hello, welcome to my channel. Rhino here. Cirrus is not quite over there. He went to do something, I forget what. He did tell me. Um, yeah, so I changed the countdown because it turned out when I was talking to Pillar Garbage last week about copyright strikes, I hadn't really been looking at the details, checking the details. It wasn't that YouTube's getting more firm about copyright stuff. It was the countdown video that I was using was getting copyright claimed. And the company that was doing that seems to have backed off, but I still decided to throw other stuff up, and I used video game music from Silksong because I know Team Cherry is they're not aggressive at pursuing copyright stuff.
Hello, I am back now.
Cirrus
Hi.
is back. Hi, back now. I'm Vice Rhino.
Hi, back now. What back shots?
Yeah, indeed. I was just explaining why I changed the countdown video, and it was like super duper dramatic music that my hi and welcome to my channel must have been very anticlimactic for.
Fair enough, I suppose. Fair enough.
So Axo's talking about butter tarts?
Apparently, and
You don't know what a butter tart is?
it's not a fucking thing here.
Well, I mean, it's a fucking thing here, and it's weird to me when people don't know what it is.
Super cool.
If I'm honest, I'm actually not sure what it is. The way I would describe it.
Oh my god.
Fennec says Axo is bad at explaining food, so I'm going to explain it badly now. It's basically like mini raisin pies.
Wait, raisins were not part of the description when I was being told what the fuck they are.
Well, they don't always have raisins in them, but they often have raisins in them.
Axo keeps on saying it's butter and tart. Okay, tart is not a fucking thing, you troglodyte.
I'm actually so it is hard to explain what I'm looking it up because like I know what they are. They're everywhere here. I have them all the damn time. And this is where my brain's at. I just googled what is a butter. Okay, butter tart is a type of small pastry that is highly regarded in Canadian cuisine. The sweet tart contains a filling of butter, sugar, syrup, and egg baked in a pastry shell until the filling is semi-solid with a crunchy top. The butter tart should not be confused with butter pie or with bread and butter pudding.
Also, everybody, it's butter and tart crust. Okay, so you're telling me, Axo, that despite the fact that everything you have showed me about what a butter tart is shows that sugar is a main ingredient in it, and you cannot make it with just butter.
Oh, they're not tart in the taste sense. It's a tart.
Your argument.
It's a tart as in like it's a little pastry that is called a tart.
Is that tart is an ingredient when tart is an end fucking result?
Yeah, no, it is a tart that is made of butter.
Yeah, it is a tart, just like how a Pop-Tart is it's a hand pie that's called a Pop-Tart.
No, it is nothing like Pop-Tart. You get
No,
Pop-Tarts out of your mind.
I understand that. I understand that. I know what a butter tart is now. I'm just saying the way that you are describing what a butter tart is doesn't actually describe what it is. It is a small, open-faced pie with a thick, sweet crust that is made of melted butter and sugar together for the filling.
And syrup. Don't forget the syrup. That's important.
Not butter and tart. That's not what that fucking is.
It's a tart that is butter.
Axo says, I'm doing it on purpose. Then you're being infuriating on purpose, and I guess you win.
It is Axo.
Yep, you win. you got it. You did it. I lose.
Okay. I'm actually not a huge fan of butter tarts. Like, they're all right. I'll eat them, but it's never like I'm never sitting here like I could go for some butter tarts.
They're highly regarded in Canadian cuisine. What the fuck is Canadian cuisine?
It's like American cuisine, but more syrup and poutine.
Okay, so it's like how French cuisine is just eating straight fucking butter.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, and I know when John and Casey were down for BajaCon, they actually like looked up the best bakery for butter tarts while they were there, and we on one of the breaks we all popped over to this bakery and bought a bunch of butter tarts, and I'm just like, yeah, it's a butter tart, and they were like, oh my god, this is amazing. I actually really like the I forget what they're called all the time. It's like a little custard pastry thing, Eastern European, and it's really
Axo
good.
says, I'm not wrong, though. It's butter and tart. No, that's not an accurate descriptor.
Because tart is a flavor that butter tarts do not have. Danish. No, not a Danish. It starts with a P.
Pornography?
No. You don't eat pornography. If you eat your pornography, then I have questions.
I mean, there are aspects of pornography that I do eat, like, the candy panties that don't taste great.
That wouldn't be porn though. Like how do you come across candy panties in a pornography scenario?
Actually, it is porn because I think it is, and that's the legal definition of pornography.
No, not pecan pie. My God. Portuguese tart, maybe? I know that is completely not. I said Eastern European, and Portugal is definitely not Eastern European. So that would explain why I was throwing people off with that. Yes, Portuguese tarts. They are delicious. I quite enjoy them. Baklava slaps so hard. So my father's wife's family is all Egyptian, and one of them always brings baklava to the family dinners. Don't forget the candy dick. I don't know about the candy dick, but my people are fond of spotted dick.
I'm the person in my family that every single time we have like a get together where there's a traditional set of food, I always bring a non-traditional dish because fuck you. So we'll be like, aha, it's Thanksgiving. Everybody bring a traditional Thanksgiving thing.
Here's
and I'll
the
just
curry.
I'll be like, here's golden curry. That's what I did. I brought golden curry.
Shout out to the Nanaimo bars. Yeah, so whoever said that butter tarts were diabetes in a tart form, Nanaimo bars are worse.
I kept calling them Nanimo bars.
I mean, I can see that, but it is Nanaimo.
Okay.
Named for Nanaimo, British Columbia, where they were definitely not invented, just like Hawaiian pizza was not invented in Hawaii.
How's it going, Arachne? How you doing? Man, I don't know where to go from here other than away.
Well, we could go to the news and get it out of the way.
We could do that. That is a thing that we can do. I'm not denying.
I'm going to be honest here. So I will. I'm not going to go into details, but my dearest chat, I have had the worst night. Not the worst, but it's been pretty nasty. So as you all know, I have multiple children with autism, and there were things that happened that were related to that make for a very stressful evening. So if I'm kind of low energy today, that's why. So yeah, I would not be terribly upset if the stream went by rather quickly, which means it's undoubtedly going to go till 11:30 because that's how it works for me.
That means because we are both depressed, we are going to end up having a conversation about something that is not the news, because that is less depressing than whatever the fuck we were originally going to be talking about.
Like Nanaimo bars and butter tarts.
And therefore, we will be doing that for an amount of time that you then have to watch, and for some of you will be paying to watch it, which is either pornography or cuckoldry or some like weird combination of the two. But I mean, it's definitely something in there. It's somebody's fetish.
Oh, before we my God, fast stream. Okay, before we get into the mainstream, I do want to give final numbers. So the final number for that we raised for charity in November is $13,455.
That's still a fucking high number.
It didn't quite get to the $15,000 goal, but when I typed $15,000 into the goal thing, I was like, "There's no way we're hitting this."
And you almost did.
Yeah, and we almost did. I am pretty. Oh, there's a little thingy at the bottom there. I'm gonna have to be careful with that because I don't know what brought that up. So I can't just browse anything. Yeah, so we got $13,455. That is amazing. That is the most money raised in a year where someone didn't die. That was
Yeah.
that was a joke. You're supposed to laugh at that. I'm making dark humor. Don't make it weird.
I'm not gonna make it weird, but
You made it weird by not reacting when I said it.
I mean, I do remember streaming on your channel specifically because of that happening to raise money for this charity.
Yeah, that year we raised over $40,000. But we can't kill someone every year.
Actually, hold on. So, if somebody wants to die, we could make it happen and then raise more money for the people who do want to live.
We are horrible people.
Yes, we are. If a hell existed, we'd be going there.
Artemis is volunteering. I do not need any more deaths for a long time. I'm sick of it. I agree. I keep telling my partner when she forgets to take her medication that, like, no, you need to take this because I'm kind of fond of you and I would like you to still be here.
I would like not dying.
Okay. I have to get rid of whatever the fuck. Oop. There it goes.
Why is everybody asking to volunteer to die? No, you're not supposed to do that. I need all of you to live so that you can watch my videos and so I can live as well. Like, if my audience all dies, I don't have a channel.
I don't know how this got so dark. I was just talking about how we raised a shit ton of money for charity.
And now you're going to have to talk about raising the dead.
Sure. I have the running total of the total amount raised for charity since I started doing this. Just need to open the spreadsheet. So including this year, since we began in 2019, and my audience has raised a total of $96,095 for Project Share, and that is fucking amazing. That means next year we are going to break the $100,000 barrier. But remember, the fool says in his heart, there is no God. They do abominable deeds, there is none who does good. So if you don't believe in God, and you are part of that $96,095, you have proven the Bible wrong. Needs to be $96,069. Yeah, well, someone go to Project Share and like rob them of like $30 or whatever it is.
Somebody rob the chair. Wow, atheists really do not have morals. You want somebody to rob a charity? And you're so manipulative. You asked it right after saying that you would raise money for the charity. What an asshole you must be.
I am an asshole. I will own it. I'm an asshole.
Okay, well, this is boring now.
Okay. Want to talk about Trump phone?
Yeah,
let's talk about Trump
phone. Let's talk about Trump phone.
I apologize. I know some people sent me these. Well, most of these news articles. I don't remember who. I wasn't keeping track, and I don't care tonight. But thank you all for sending news articles, whoever you are. One of them was my anonymous source, so they don't want to be thanked anyway. Where's my button for this? There we go. So the Trump phone is nowhere to be seen 3 months after release date. Is anyone surprised?
God, I'm so happy that the Trump phone is joining StarCraft Ghost and Duke Nukem Forever in the vaporware area. That means we either will never see it or we'll see it in a depressing version in like 15 years. Well after he's dead.
I don't think it'll be 15 years because like from the get-go, my suspicion was that this was just going to be a reskin like cheap Android Chinese phone from some nothing company. Not the company Nothing, because they apparently make actually really good phones. But yeah, no, they're just gonna, like, if they actually release anything, my money is on a cheap $200 Android phone that you could get on Amazon that they have slapped their skin on and called it the Trump phone.
Robbie says, "Hey, Duke Nukem Forever actually got released eventually." Yeah, that's the point, though, is that you have the StarCraft Ghost world where it never comes out, or you have the Duke Nukem Forever world where it does come out, but man, you kind of wish it didn't.
I'm just waiting for Portal 3.
Valve is immune to the number 3, and you know that.
Didn't they do a Half-Life 3?
No.
There are like 17 Half-Life games. How is there no
Yeah.
Half-Life 3?
They will not put a 3 at the end of it.
Okay. I really did enjoy Half-Life Alyx.
Oh my god, Metroid Prime 4 comes out tomorrow. Guys, I don't want to stream tomorrow. Fuck all y'all. I want to play Metroid Prime.
Play it on stream.
No.
I
No, that is a game. That is a game for me.
So there's Half-Life 1, there's Half-Life 2, there's Black Mesa, there's probably Black
there's
Mesa
Half-Life
2.
2. There's Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2.
Technically, Portal and Portal 2 both count as Half-Life games
they are
because they're part of the Half-Life universe.
Yeah, they're in the same realm.
So yeah, there's because I remember seeing on like after I played Half-Life Alyx, I was like, I kind of want to play more of games like this. And Steam had like the entire Half-Life collection on sale for like $20. So I just bought the whole thing and was like, oh, that's like 17 games. I'm never going to play all of this. But yeah, so he pitched his phone as a made in the USA device. We covered that. They took that off the website very quickly when people started pointing out
because it wasn't made in the USA. It wasn't going to be.
Okay, nobody knows what it even is yet. It's just not possible to make a phone in the USA. So, like, just there, it's not possible. Like, the factories don't exist. The expertise needed to do that doesn't exist in the United States. The tooling doesn't exist in the United States. The chips don't exist in the United States. Fucking RAM chips are like that's the next big thing. Like I was considering upgrading my computer not too long ago, and then all the prices skyrocketed because AI ate up all the RAM, and turns out that the RAM chips are needed for so many things. So many things are just expensive now.
So we actually saw some of that with even Saki's RAM. She has some DDR5 in her computer, and she just saw an advertisement because you know how Google ads work. You've looked up a thing before, therefore it's going to show it to you again. So it showed her RAM sticks that we spent like $90 on, and they're like $200 now. So the same fucking RAM sticks. Yeah. They're older now.
Ah.
Also, Growlith wants inside because my dog cannot. I don't know. What goes through her brain?
Cirrus. Okay, so let's talk about the RAM shortage. Fuck Nvidia. Actually, well, not Nvidia. Fuck all the LLM companies. We don't need a bazillion massive data centers so that they can have chatbots that tell us the wrong answer to things. Like, no. This needs to be regulated out of existence. Like, the bubble's going to pop. It's going to be disastrous for the economy, which is already not in a great state. And this LLM stuff isn't going anywhere.
Come on.
It's here to stay, unfortunately. The cat is out of the bag. It's never getting put back in that bag.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, fuck both. Yeah, yes, indeed, fuck both of them. I was just saying, like, Nvidia is not directly to blame for the LLMs sucking up all the chips. I mean, they are certainly selling chips to them, but it's not directly their fault. Although, there's that cyclical thing where they're like, never mind, it is Nvidia's fault directly, because they're doing that thing where they're like buying up littler companies that buy chips from them and then selling chips to them at an inflated price. Like, I don't know. It's a whole complicated mess, and it sucks. And fuck them. But yeah. So pitched as made in the USA, powered by new wireless service called Trump Mobile, which is actually, so I actually kind of like how it was kind of clever the way they did this, because they you know how there's those third party carriers that are like the discount brand of the main carriers.
Yeah.
So they did that, but they did it with T-Mobile. So that when you connect to the network, you see T-Mobile, and well, T must stand for Trump, so it's Trump Mobile.
Oh my god.
That is, I mean, that was what I heard. I don't know for sure if they are going with the T-Mobile thing, but that was what I heard, because you can actually, you don't need the Trump phone to get a Trump phone number on Trump Mobile. You can do that on your, like, you can do that with your own device if you have it. But I'm pretty sure it's just T-Mobile. So they say the smartphone looks suspiciously like the Samsung S25, which I was very surprised to read that, because this is the picture that's on the article. That's the picture that I remember seeing. That ain't no S25. Like, if anything, that looks like an iPhone.
It definitely has. I think it's because the AI generated the asset.
Well, yeah, but I clicked on. They have a link for that, so I clicked on the link. These are the latest assets that they have for that, and like, yeah, looks like an S25 Ultra. Looks nothing like what they first envisioned. So if they can't even say what their phone is going to look like, I'm very doubtful that they're going to be shipping anytime soon.
Yeah, how are they going to sell us this thing when it's obviously not going to be any of what they fucking say it is?
Like I said, my money is still on cheap-ass Android phone. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracting myself. This reminded me that I have a phone case on the way, because mine is kind of busted, and it should have been delivered by now, so I'm checking to see if it's, like, on my porch.
Reminds me I need to get a new phone case as well. Just because mine's been slipping off. I have one of the fold phones, so phone cases rely on adhesives for those phones, and my adhesives have worn off, so I'm just gonna get a new phone case.
Yeah. So I have a mouse case, which it's been a good case, but I have the phone. I'm one of the people that's the problem with the economy. I've been holding on to my phone for too long, and I have no intention of upgrading anytime soon. So I got a new case for mine since my case is dying. So it's still listing today as I don't understand how tracking works. I'd rather know nothing than the information that they give us. So, like,
well, because the information they give us is usually inaccurate.
Well, yesterday they told me it was going to be delivered yesterday, and then when I put the tracking number in, it was like, we've generated a label. It's like, okay, that is not coming today. And then today it was like, oh, it's hovering around the Toronto area. It's actually, like, in transit. So, like, maybe I will get it today. It'd be weird to get it from Toronto, because normally it has to come to Stony Creek before it gets to me. And it has not been marked as out for delivery yet, but it's still saying that it's coming today. So, fuck you, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled bullshit. Customers were initially asked to place a $100 deposit to secure the $499 device throughout its development. So he's been taking essentially donations at this point.
Yeah, donate money to me, and eventually I may give you a phone. And by give you, I mean sell you a phone. And by may, I mean...
Well, no, it was supposed to come in August. Let's be fair. It wasn't May, it was August. And now they're projecting that it's going to be coming in early December.
Well, no, that's why I said I may give you a phone.
Okay. I see.
That's what I wasn't saying in May. Just you might, if you send these donations, you might get the thing you're asking for.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep. Raven says, I've had mine since 2019. I want something newer, but hesitant about the AI bullshit.
Just turn it off.
Yeah, you can usually turn it off. It is annoying that, like, your phone updates and then all this stuff is, like, on, and you have to go and turn it off, but you can turn it off for the most part, for now at least. But yeah, no, I bought a flagship 2 years ago, and the reason I did that was specifically so that it would last longer. Like, it's the Vimes economic theory of boots or whatever, where if you pay the extra money up front to get the better product, it will last you longer, and then you spend less in the long run. That was my thing there. So when my pay extra on your bill to get the state-of-the-art phone or thing or whatever was up, and they were like, hey, it's time to upgrade, I was like, no. My phone can still watch YouTube videos without a problem. because that is probably the most demanding task that I do on it. So I will be fine for probably several more years. Ooh. It says, I just uninstalled Android AI Core, 11 gigs, and my battery lasts more than a day now. I didn't know that that was a thing. I will have to look into that.
I was unaware that that was a thing too. Granted, my battery lasts fine, and I keep chargers on me all the time because I have a lot of devices that I bring with me wherever I go. So like, I usually don't end up having trouble with phone battery because I always have either an extra battery or a place to plug up.
And I am usually sitting in front of my computer, so if I want to charge it, I just put it on the charger. But I'm looking for that. What is it? Android AI Core 11. Android Auto, Android Switch, Android System Intelligence.
Is that a thing for right now?
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing the AI thing. I don't know.
It's a thing to Google later.
It is. So, when looking through, I was trying to find the subscription to Google Play where you can have games, because we got new tablets for some of the kids for Christmas. And it, like, they have the Amazon ones right now where you pay a monthly subscription and they can have some of the games, including Minecraft and stuff. And like, I wanted to see what games are included in the Google Play one, and it keeps giving me pop-ups for that. But when I actually went looking for it, I couldn't find it. But what I did find is it like actually gives you like, oh, you're honest, you have a streak. You've played games on your phone this many days in a row.
Fucking everything's gamified now, and I hate it.
Well, here's the thing. That actually kind of backfired on them, because I saw that and I was like, okay, I'm not playing any games today because that is an embarrassing streak. I do not want that streak. Dark Falcon 7856 says battery bank for the win. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the subscription.
I have one of the on battery banks that has a actual like a flip out 2-prong connector, so I can just take the battery bank and press it into a wall, and then suddenly it's charging, and it works as a power brick as well if I need it to be that for the time. So it's just a super helpful thing, and I have 2 of them. So whenever Saki and I are out, especially because like our scooters require our phones to function, they have a bunch of settings that are. So our e-scooters, you can, if somebody were to steal your e-scooter, I can use my phone, just turn it off. Just be like, okay, you're not doing that now. Like, that's the type of stuff that ours is set to do.
Oh, so I found out because the battery in my key fob for my van died. So the push button start is more secure than a key. Mm-hmm. But the fact that it, like, if I'm out and about and I don't have an extra battery for the key fob and the key fob dies, that's a problem. And I discovered that the hard way recently because that happened to me. And so I forget why I started this story, but I was sitting there like, okay, so the van, there is no key to start the vehicle, but there is a key to get into the vehicle. But apparently using the key to get into the vehicle will set off the alarm. And the way to turn off the alarm is to hit the unlock button on the key fob, which had a dead battery.
Oh my god.
So after fiddling with the door handle with like a suspicious looking device, I got into the van that was like, the alarm was then going off, and I sat there not doing anything, like fiddling with other stuff for like 10 minutes. It was a little bit embarrassing. Press the on button with the key fob. I am aware of that. It tells you to do that. It did not work. It was dead. Now, to be fair, I had plenty of warning. I should have changed the battery before this happened. But yeah, no, what ended up happening is I had to actually take the key fob apart and like push on the battery and then push the battery into the on button, and that did work. But through that, I also discovered that the van will drive for as long as you want it to without the key in the van, because it's like the whole time it was like, the key's not detected. You need to do something about that. There's no key in the van. But it didn't actually stop me from driving anywhere, which in this case was a good thing because it allowed me to drive to the store and grab a new battery for it.
Hmm.
But like if somebody steals it because I like started it to warm it up in the driveway or something, they can just drive away with it. Now, to be fair, they won't be able to start it after that, and like I said, the buttons are actually a little bit more secure than the keys, but still. Have you tried microwaving it?
So
I'll try that next time.
That is one of the reasons I'm glad that I have the app on my phone for my car, because if somebody were to take my car for whatever reason, because like auto start or anything like that, I can just press a button on my phone and my car shuts off.
So I can't do that with my car, but I can track my car with my phone.
Yeah, I can. So I didn't even think about the tracking thing until I was at a convention with my friend Nick, and we had actually forgotten where I parked my car in Atlanta, because Atlanta's got a lot of like pay per hour parking. And I had no idea where the fuck my car had been left, because it had been 10 hours since we parked the damn thing. And he's just like, so you're telling me with all of the weird shit your car can do that's completely unnecessary, you can't track it with your phone? And I just went, oh yeah, that's a thing my car can do. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm pretty sure, like I'm on a trial thing for that, and then it ends in like another year or so. And then after that, you have to pay a monthly fee for that. And I'm just like, I'm probably not going to, because I'm just so viscerally against the idea of subscribing to things that I already own.
You will own nothing and you will like it.
Yeah, like no, this is my car. If that's a thing that it can do, why should I have to pay you a monthly fee to do the thing that it can do? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Last thing in the article I really want to touch on is that they're blaming the government shutdown for the delay in the Trump phones, because you know how the government shutdown really affected manufacturing companies that had nothing to do with the government.
It affected China. It affected China really bad.
Well, it's American made. Sorry, no, it's not American made. It is. Okay, that is the other thing. So they're still taking deposits. You can still go give them $100 deposit right now. So they went from being made in the USA to go away, comment box. So they used to say being made in the USA back when we covered it. But now it says that it's an American proud design that was brought to life right here in the USA. So an American typed the prompt into ChatGPT that generated this ugly ass picture.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
But it's an American proud design.
No, it's not. Do not the lie.
Yeah. And who knows? You might get an iPhone looking phone. You might get a Samsung looking phone.
Who knows? ChatGPT
my money's on neither. Next
What's
up.
funny is this isn't even the first time we've had a fucking Freedom Phone idea thrown at us, and every single time
the last one was literally called the Freedom Phone. And guess what it was? It was a $200 Amazon phone that they sold for $500.
Okay, what do we have next?
We have Trump scrambling as White House runs out of lawyers to defend the MAGA agenda in court.
Running out of lawyers. That's certainly a phrase.
Lawyers are famously unscrupulous, and they are running out of unscrupulous lawyers.
Jesus fucking Christ. How do you even?
Well, and so this is the thing where like I have mixed feelings about the people that like resign and protest over things. But a lot of lawyers have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have a shortage of lawyers. So like in some cases it kind of works. Like the only people that are willing to still do their shit are the incompetent ones.
Yay, Rudy, my favorite.
Oh right, Rudy still exists.
He does still exist.
It makes me happy that he's probably having a worse day than me.
He doesn't act like a person who still exists, but he kind of kind of does.
He is just him and Mike Lindell are just proof that the Trump administration do not care about even their most loyal followers. It's like those guys were all in, and their lives are ruined now.
Oh yeah.
And that is so cathartic to me, but like it should be a warning sign to anyone else affiliated with them. And like especially did you see all the stuff regarding Hegseth and his like kill them all order?
I did not. I've seen a little bit about that.
So basically what happened is he did the war crime in striking the boats in the first place, but then
yeah, and then
there
he
were
asked for the
survivors.
double tap.
There were survivors clinging to the wreckage, and then he did another war crime by saying kill the survivors, which like in the first case, if that was an enemy combatant ship in wartime, then striking it is not a war crime. It was not. It's a civilian boat. Even if what they're saying about it is true, it's a civilian boat. So yes, that's a war crime. But then the second, like even if it was a military boat and it was an enemy combatant and it wasn't a war crime to blow it up in the first place, seeing survivors clinging to the wreckage and then deciding to go in for a second strike, that is a war crime. And so investigations started happening, and then suddenly Pete Hegseth was like after posting a big long screed, I mean, like, yeah, no, I did it and I'd do it again. Things started looking like they were getting serious, and then it was suddenly like, I super duper support this admiral who gave that order. And then suddenly Trump knew the name of the guy who, when you ask him about the pardons that he's writing, says, I have no idea who that is. I pardon a lot of people. He suddenly knows the name of this admiral that nobody has known before this week. Because they are getting ready to throw this guy under the bus. It wasn't Pete, it was this admiral guy.
Yep. Every single time. And you know what's funny? So I was covering Asmongold talking about this, and his argument was like, war crimes aren't a thing. War crimes are not real. They're not actually a thing, and nobody gets fucking punished for them. So I just pulled up the list of people who have been punished for war crimes. And one of his points was like, do you think anybody from Russia or the United States is ever going to get hit with war crimes? So I just went and found the people from the United States who have been accused of war crimes and have gotten in trouble for them.
Yeah,
like I'm sorry, but
so even if you ignore the international law thing, because let's face it, the United States does, like every United States president going back for a while could legitimately be described as a war criminal.
Yeah, like my argument is not that there are people who get away with war crimes. My argument is the statement "nothing will happen" is a stupid fucking statement.
Yeah. Yeah, so like it's nothing new for an American regime to be committing war crimes. What is new is that like this is not just war crimes, this is like they are bragging about breaking their own rules of engagement. It's like even if we ignore the International Criminal Court stuff, which sure, United States is going to ignore that. There are going to be no consequences for that. It's still against your own goddamn rules of engagement, which Hegseth went on record in that stupid speech that he gave to all the top brass of the military. Being like, we don't like the rules of engagement.
I like doing war crimes. I think being a war criminal is based and great.
Actually, so it was kind of funny. I don't know if you listened to the podcast Citation Needed.
No, I don't listen to podcasts.
Okay, well, I listened to Citation Needed, and their latest episode was on actually Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who apparently he bought out the publishing company behind a lot of scientific journals, and he was like the guy who started the pay-to-play journal thing, where like you can't read our articles without a subscription. So we have Ghislaine Maxwell's father to thank for that. But it was the part that kind of struck me was that like they were describing how like he during World War II he was kind of a war criminal. he kept on like killing prisoners and things and stuff like that. And the whole time they were describing that, I was just sitting here like, so he was Canadian then? That sounds a lot like what we did.
Remember, it's not a war crime the first time, and Canada knows this best.
Yep. No. A lot of things are war crimes now because of us. Oh, don't fuck with Canadians.
Canadians are spooky.
Yeah, we can be. Yeah, you think what the president did to the White House is bad? Remember what we did to the White House?
You're innovators in horrors.
I mean, I guess technically it was the British that burned down the White House, but the regiment that did it still exists, and my mother was a part of it for a while.
So your mother's a war criminal.
What did you do to the White House? We burned that motherfucker to the ground.
War of 1812.
Yeah.
That was Canada.
Yep. Technically, Canada didn't become its own country until like 1867, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, Canadians.
Yeah, they were proto-Canadians.
Yes.
Your mom burned down the White House?
Sure, let's go with that one. I didn't think she was that old, but like I said, that regiment still exists. She was a member of it for a little while. So yeah, anyway, we were talking about Trump's lawyers and how he can't hire them anymore because too many of them have too many scruples to deal with him.
Too scrupulous.
Yeah. There's also, apparently there's a lot of lawyers that haven't been able to get through the confirmation process because the GOP aren't 100% spineless. They're only like 99.9% spineless.
That's a statement. Canada? You mean the northern province of the United States?
Oh, don't start that shit. We will burn you down again. First state. Fuck y'all. Fuck all y'all. So, unrelated to this, but as long as we're talking about Canada being the 51st state or whatever, did you hear that there was like a recent G20 meeting where basically all of the G20 except for Trump, who was boycotting it, got together and were like, hey, so we can do this world thing without the United States, right? So yeah, we're renegotiating trade deals and alliances and stuff to basically assume that the United States is not a trustworthy actor. And,
I mean, it's not.
You know, it's not great for anyone. Like we would rather just everybody be friends. But if y'all aren't going to play nice, we're just going to take our ball and go home. No, you guys have taken your ball and going home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. So you remember that thing that happened in Twitter where they started telling people where accounts were based?
Yeah. Do we have any follow-ups on that thing on Twitter?
So not like huge follow-ups, but basically a bunch of like high-profile MAGA accounts with millions of followers ended up being like Russian and Eastern European and Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, almost like that thing we were telling people about it being a bunch of disinformation that is actively being engaged in by foreign countries. Turns out that's true.
You know, I'm going to be honest. My favorite, like my absolute favorite thing.
Ian Miles Chong?
No, not Ian Miles Chung, but that guy is oddly enamored with United States politics for a guy who doesn't fucking live here.
Yeah, but did you see where he does live?
I'm pretty sure that's been open information for a while, but where?
Where do you think he lives?
Because I thought it was Malaysia, wasn't it?
No.
No?
He lives in Dubai.
Lives in Dubai.
And this is what made that apparent. His account is based in Dubai.
Huh.
So, yeah. He's on the payroll of foreign governments that do not have American best interests at heart.
Yay! Also, how's it going, Fidel Castro?
It might not be Dubai. It's like it's one of the rich Middle Eastern countries that has an quasi adversarial relationship with the United States.
Fantastic. My favorite. I love the world.
So what is your favorite thing that came from this?
So my favorite thing that came from this is the fact that the Superman movie definitely fucking happened and was definitely 100% canon to the real world.
Which Superman
have you seen
movie?
The new Superman movie? Have you seen it yet?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna spoil something from the movie because it's relevant to here. Because I'm definitely not fucking just gonna say that and then say, oh well, you haven't seen the movie. I guess not. No.
Go for it.
Okay, so in the new Superman movie, there is a moment where you find out that the reason that Lex Luthor has so much influence on the internet is because in an alternate dimension, he literally has an army of angry monkeys typing on Twitter 24 fucking 7.
That sounds legit.
So now I know that that's a real thing that actually happens in the real world.
I remembered right. It is Dubai. Ian Miles Chong is in Dubai.
Said he saves a squirrel. Okay, but when will Dora the Explorer kill BB? What? I don't.
Dora the Explorer versus Netanyahu.
Oh yeah. I mean, Superman also takes effectively Netanyahu and shoves him on a cactus. That's also a thing in that movie.
Okay. Like actual Netanyahu or someone that everybody agrees is a stand-in for Netanyahu?
It's a stand-in for Netanyahu. They have Superman defending the stand-ins for the Palestinians and him doing things terribly with a cactus to the stand-in for Netanyahu.
So there's not really much to say about the story other than, yeah, a bunch of mega influencers are not American.
Hip hip hooray.
Shocker.
That's a thing that all of us already technically knew, but
I'm
glad to have the
funniest part about that
confirmation.
is this would have been so easier for them to hide with just like VPNing in through the States.
Hey, no need to hide if you don't think you're going to get caught.
True. But yeah, I don't doubt that they will start looking more American now because it's super easy to just connect through a VPN. I actually accidentally found I connected to one of the states that isn't supposed to have porn anymore. Like I forgot that I was connected, and then I went to a website, and it was like, oh, that's not what's supposed to be on this website. It is blocked.
Can't use Pornhub in Georgia. It's agitating.
Got a promo code for a VPN. Yeah, if you go to surfshark.com/rhino and use code rhino at checkout. You don't have to though. Like, I'm actually okay. Surfshark doesn't watch this channel, so I can say it. I'm debating whether or not to just let my current contract run out and not renew with them, because they have a new feature that's supposed to, like, it's an AI powered feature that only works on Gmail, and it scans your emails for potential phishing things, which sure could be useful. But it's just the idea of like yeah, all of the literature about it says that they don't actually keep any of your data related to Gmail or whatever, but the fact that it's only Gmail, a company that is already known for scanning your personal emails for a bunch of shit that you don't want them seeing, like not really comfortable with that. And like the last ad, they were like pushing me to advertise that part, and I'm like, no, that was not part of the contract. I am not talking about that because I have concerns about that. So like, if they will let me continue just advertising the VPN and Clean Web 2.0 or whatever, then I'll be happy to continue the contract, because like, just don't use that feature. But if they're going to be insistent that no, you have to advertise this feature that goes against your core beliefs, like, nope.
That would be a reason to not.
which would suck because we've had a very long partnership. But like that just it's just there's too many red flags there for me. Okay, so that's it for news. Let's go to tweets.
Yay!
Oh, I didn't do that things where I make them visible, so they're going to be not visible yet.
Oh, yeah, I love tweets I can't read.
Boop.
That's my favorite, actually.
So we're starting with this was fun. Polymarket tweeted out, breaking, Zohran Mamdani to require all New York elementary school students to learn Arabic numerals, which,
Yep.
if you're not familiar, Arabic numerals are the ones
It's
that we use.
Normal fucking numbers.
0 through 9. And there were so many people that got caught up in this. I'm like, have fun, New York City. You voted for this. Did he forget New York is in America? And of course, Laura Loomer deleted this or she edited it or whatever. So like she redid it to make it look like she got the joke. But this was her first post. This was her gut reaction to this was, you know things are bad when you can't tell if this is real or a joke. Dear God, it's real, isn't it? So, yeah, Laura Loomer, bit of an idiot. Shocker, I know.
Yep.
So, Jess is asking, do you have Clandis tweets? I don't know. If there's anything new, I don't have it. This is all stuff that I had pulled for last week, but then Surfs was like, I'm sick.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was also like, I don't feel like it. And I'm behind on work, so I got to do my work. So, it was fine. We would have passed the $15,000 for Project Share if I'd only streamed last week.
Axo says they should just make them date Tim tries to clone him. What? Oh, there's a conversation happening that I'm not seeing. I see. It's a conversation about DC Comics. Okay.
I know nothing about DC Comics except that the Wonder Woman 1984 movie is hilariously bad. Pedro Pascal wishes to be a wishing rock.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
It's so stupid. Okay. Spoilers for Wonder Woman 1984. Pedro Pascal is the bad guy, and bad guy is kind of weird or whatever. So there's a wishing rock that will grant it'll grant any wish if you wish while you're touching it. A thing that is not explained about it ever until Pedro Pascal does his thing is that when you make a wish, it takes something from you. But it's not like the writers of this movie weren't clever enough to do a monkey paw thing with it. So it didn't really make a lot of sense, or like it wasn't clear that this was actually a bad thing. But Pedro Pascal wished to be the wishing rock. So then the rest of the movie is him like convincing people to touch him while they make a wish so that he can then take a thing from them. And that is how he becomes rich and powerful or whatever. And then the final confrontation happens when he realizes that if he can get in front of this special TV camera, then the particles from that like have the TV camera like recording him and sending it to a satellite and then broadcasting to everybody. Technically, if you're looking at that picture, the like the air molecules are touching each other, so that still counts as touching, and it goes through the satellite, and that still counts as touching somehow. So like he gets
I'm not
everybody.
even gonna lie, I've checked out.
He gets everybody on the planet to make wishes while looking at him on the TV screen. And then the way they fix everything after he takes all this shit from people and he's about to like destroy the planet or whatever the fuck is Wonder Woman then gets on the TV and is like, hey, everybody needs to renounce their wishes or things are gonna get bad. And every single person on the fucking planet is like, I renounce my wish.
Okay.
It's so fucking stupid. Oh, I love it.
Man, do you watch any good movies?
Man,
you're having to think a little hard about that one.
I can't even remember the last movie I watched. You know what? I'm watching through the original Star Wars trilogies with one of the younger kids.
Saki and I just got done doing a marathon of all the Star Wars movies.
And I acknowledge that, like, they're not high cinema. It's not like high art sort of stuff, but they are fun movies.
I'm also going to say that the term high cinema or high art is fucking stupid.
Okay.
Are they fun and enjoyable?
Yes.
Do they have good stories and good characters? Yes.
Ooh,
Okay, cool. Then it's
Sinners. Yes, that's a good movie. I've seen Sinners.
Okay.
Jojo Rabbit, also a good movie. I've seen Jojo Rabbit.
Also, I surprisingly liked Rise of Skywalker more the second time I watched it.
I haven't seen it a second time.
It's weird because like when Saki and I finished watching it, we both just kind of went, wait, hold on. People really do hate this movie. And I know I hated it because I did a whole Twitter thread about hating it.
I get the second one and the third one from that trilogy confused all the time. Is Rise of Skywalker the third one or the second one?
Third one.
Okay. Yeah, so I can see some redeeming character. Like, I'm just going from memory here. I think those two I only saw once. I saw Force Awakens like 7 or 8 times because it was the first Star Wars movie in a long time, and you know I was very blue-balled and I had to release it. But yeah, no, those two I only saw once, and if my memory is correct, the middle one was actually the best.
So Last Jedi is my favorite of the 3. I know that people hate The Last Jedi, but like the things that people hate about it. Okay.
Oh yeah, Piper, Wild Robot, also good movie, great movie, made me cry. No. So I didn't really see much criticism about Last Jedi that didn't come from the right wing complaint that like, oh, there's a purple-haired lady that has to always be right. And it's like, no, that's just stupid. That's a stupid criticism. That's not what was wrong with the like the whole Canto Bite side quest was a bit weird.
You know what's funny though? Everybody who says that the Canto Bite side quest was dumb, like, doesn't seem to understand that the only reason that they were able to get anything done on the ship later is because they had the code cracker from Canto Bite.
Yeah, that's like, I know, and there is precedent in other Star Wars movies for dumb side quests that don't actually matter a whole lot and are just like to waste some time to get the movie up to a runtime. So like that's not the only Star Wars movie that does shit like that. Like look at fucking Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. That doesn't really do anything except get Han back. And the only reason Han was gone in the first place was because Harrison Ford was thinking about quitting.
He's been trying to get Han killed forever.
Yeah.
Also, like, the idea that like in 30 years Luke's personality would be unchanged from the person that he was originally. Like, no, that I'm sorry. It makes sense that a dude would get jaded eventually.
Yeah, just look at me. I'm not the same person I was when I started doing Twit tweets. I'm a bit more jaded than I was back then. I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then I read Twitter for several years straight. Oh my god, that's what happened. That's what's wrong with me. This show's canceled. We're done forever.
Like, I'm going to be honest, I love Last Jedi, and I think I actually like Rise of Skywalker now. I didn't like it at first, because the dumb fucking fetch quest and all that stuff, and bringing Palpatine back made no sense, but like,
the fetch quest didn't bother me. What bothered me is, like, they're landing fucking horses on top of a Star Destroyer. That's just dumb. Lando somehow gathered 1 million fucking ships in 20 seconds.
Well, no.
Like, fuck you.
So, again, having recently watched that movie again, it's not that Lando gathers that many ships on his own accord. It's that Palpatine broadcasted to the entire galaxy that they would all be subjugated. All Lando had to do was just say, hey, I'm also going to broadcast on this channel. How about we don't? That's literally all that happened, is that Palpatine broadcasts to everyone, you're all going to die.
The whole thing was that the only way to get to the planet is if you have one of the Sith holocron things, and didn't Lando not have one of those?
Yeah, you needed a wayfinder to get there initially, but after the route has been mapped, then you're there. Like that's a very common thing for Star Wars. So if you read any of the I've
Okay,
read
clearly
a
I've read some of the
lot.
books. That's why I called it a fucking holocron. You fucking
Yeah, because it's
asshole.
a wayfinder, but but it is a standard thing in Star Wars that once somebody has gone through a hyperspace route, you can follow it again. And the technology was introduced in episode 9, or actually in episode 8, for tracking hyperspace routes for any craft. That was introduced in the previous movie. So
Sure.
we know that it is possible for any ship to follow another ship through a hyperspace route.
I don't remember. I legitimately do not remember most of the details of these two movies. I just know that the last one had very many that's complete bullshit moments from me. Like that was my reaction. Like, that's bullshit. No, come on, no way. Like that. And a lot of it surrounded like Palpatine somehow returned.
And what's funny, the Palpatine somehow returned bit, I hate the delivery of it. I hate the delivery of that line. It's one of the stupidest lines in the entire movie. But I will also say that in 2 separate canons, or there are now 3 canons for Star Wars.
I know this is not the first time Palpatine has come back.
Yeah, because
it's just the way they did it seemed like they didn't have any ideas of anything to actually do.
Yeah.
Like,
so the way that they did it in this movie seemed like what they decided to do was grab from the Legends material without having a bunch of build up to that event. Because with Legends, that was like there was a bunch of books before that happened. You had Fallen Empire, you had Thrawn, and then you got to Palpatine coming back in the books. In the comics, you had him come back in a much closer to this movie way, where he tried to like do the essence transfer thing to Han Solo's kids, which is what he fucking tries to do in the movie again. This movie just borrows from Legends a bunch. But like I've seen it done well in Star Wars. I've seen it done badly in Star Wars in the Legends material. And this movie basically did it the bad way, but it used an idea that was already there. And as you get further into the movie, when you start to see the context for like, he's back, but he's a husk, it makes a little more sense. The delivery for it is awful, but him being back as a husk of his former self,
okay.
I'm more okay with.
Axo says all of Star Wars is bullshit. There's Force Jesus and some lady who went swimming in 2 pools and turned mega evil more than the sun / the dark side. What? I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
That sounds like weird Legends material.
I don't know what that. Like, okay, Force Jesus, I get that's Anakin because he was Immaculate Conception is actually referring to how Mary was conceived, not Jesus, but virgin birth. So
yeah,
Anakin was virgin birth.
Yeah, he was a virgin in the Force because of Plagueis. And actually, fun thing. Star Wars The Acolyte finally introduced Darth Plagueis into the main canon instead of being in Legends. The final scene from Acolyte is Darth Plagueis looking at a would-be apprentice who was a virgin in the Force, because the Plagueis book shows that every single time a person is like born of the Force, quote, quote, like Anakin was, that was Plagueis' fault. He was doing fucking midichlorian experiments and basically reached out into the galaxy and impregnated a bunch of people. That's a fucking thing that happened in the books.
So there's more than one Anakin.
As of Acolyte, there is. Yes.
Take off that fucking hot hat. Warm in
Also,
here.
apparently, Philosophy Tube is in Acolyte as well.
Oh,
like
nice.
she's an actor in there.
Sorry, Jassy, you got the flower. You don't get Gay Unicorn Gary. Yeah. Anyway, back to tweets. Okay, so this was some cope from someone being that didn't want to acknowledge that his side of the argument was losing. He's like, so much snark in these comments. Y'all know there are Western and Eastern Arabic numbers, right? Because clearly everyone who was getting upset about the Arabic numerals being taught in schools thought that he was talking about Eastern Arabic numerals instead of the Western Arabic numerals that we all already use. So much cope. So much fucking
dumb.
cope. Yeah. Okay, and we get Joey Manorino, who I guess his account says he's based in Europe. And so he says, since the lovely trolls out there want to say I'm not American, I'm curious. What is this? Anyone have a clue what this here is? Yeah, it's an American passport.
Yeah, like, I have one of those too.
But like, if you live in Europe and you take advantage of their wonderful social safety net and all of their socialized systems that they have over there that the States doesn't have, then like,
Maybe you're not actually as big an American advocate as you think if you are specifically utilizing the tools and resources from other countries to prop yourself up because other countries have those tools and resources.
There's actually an account that's been their videos have been recommended to me a lot. That it was a guy who he grew up in New York, and he was kind of right wing. And then he like went to Europe for school, and he just never left. And now he's like super duper left wing, and is like, yeah, no, it's way better over here. I don't know why these Americans are so gung ho about all this American stuff that supposedly makes them the best country in the world when they're clearly not. So yeah, I'm sure someone in chat will know who the fuck I'm talking about and will type their name, and then I can.
Or it's going to be somebody in the comment section later who's going to be like, "Hey, I know who you're talking about."
My videos get like 3 comments each.
Lenari says, seriously, who is this loser? I can't read the name. Joey Manorino.
Joey Manorino. He's okay. We can get rid of the picture for him. This guy. This fucking guy. He's a semi-regular here on Twit Tweets.
May want to give some context for people though. Semi-regular does tell people that he's a
right-wing asshole who lives in Europe and has some of the stupidest right-wing takes that I've ever seen.
There you go.
Anyway, entertain the people for a bit. I'm going pee.
Oh, okay. Yay. So, guys, now that Rhino is going pee, did you know that he makes it dribble a little to the left every time he goes? He kind of gets everywhere. It's weird. Nah, I think I'm past the point of narrating his pees. At least I think. That said, it is wild to me that people will have such strong opinions about the United States without living here, like actively for a very long amount of time. Granted, I don't really want to live here either. Honestly, I have a home here and it is not financially viable for me to live elsewhere. And I have family here, so it's also not emotionally great for me to be elsewhere. But eventually, maybe. Axo says, do you want to talk about Star Weirds? I'm fine talking about Star Wars, but I don't think I want to specifically talk about Star Weirds. Like, I like talking about Star Wars. I really like talking about Star Wars. That said, I'm surprised very few people in the chat like jumped on me for liking both Last Jedi and whatchamacallit and Rise of Skywalker. Because I used to hate Rise of Skywalker, but like now I don't actually. Just weird. Sarah Chigurita says the Star Wars trilogy, there can be only one. Nah. The Star Wars trilogy now is a trilogy of trilogies, and I like each of the trilogies more the more I watch them. Sean says, we have strong opinions about the fact that the Monster Hunter Secret Lair got canceled. It's getting reworked, though. Like, it's only temporarily canceled. Sucker says, one can both like something and be critical of it. Yeah, I like it, and I was very critical of it when I watched it. And so my thing with Last Jedi is the more I watch it, the more lukewarm I get on it while still really enjoying it. And the more I watch Rise of Skywalker, the more I enjoy the movie. And the more I watch Force Awakens, the less I like the movie.
You're lukewarm on Star Wars?
Who's that? The main character of Star Wars is Anakin Skywalker or Rey. Who are you talking about?
Talking about OG Star Wars.
I've never seen those movies.
So youngest child who
I'm
is
obviously
watching
lying to you.
I know. Youngest child who is we haven't finished the original trilogy yet. We're we're on Return of the Jedi, and we've just met the Ewoks, and then
Oh,
we had
are you not doing the weird method where you watch like Star Wars episode, you watch
No,
like 4 and 5 and then you do the OG trilogy?
Yeah. What?
Have you not heard about that one?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but you just called the prequels the OG trilogy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
episodes
so
1 through
fuck
3,
you.
not the OG ones.
Yeah, no. I am aware of that method, and the story does make more sense that way. But I feel like so part of my goal with introducing him to Star Wars is the idea that movies don't need to be flashy and grab your attention every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Even for like, because he has a very short attention span. He made it through Yoda in the swamp like a champ. So, like, if he's actually interested in the movie, he's going to sit there and pay attention. So I don't want to introduce him to the newer, flashier stuff until I've confirmed that the older, less flashy stuff gets there. And, like, the hardest part for that is coming up. It's in Return of the Jedi when Luke and Leia have the chat about being brother and sister. Like, that is, like, I remember as a child, that was a slog. I did not care for that scene at all, and it went on forever. So we're getting through that. And I'm also... I am using the like I own the movies legally, but I watched the Harmy's despecialized edition, which is technically illegal. But I'm like, that's my backup copy because I own them legally. So like I'm doing that because again, like he doesn't need 50 aliens walking in front of the camera so that you can't see what's actually happening in the movie. Because George Lucas was like, "Hey, CGI is cool. Let's throw all the aliens in there."
I'm gonna be honest. I'm also in a weird spot where like I've watched the special editions so much that I think I've become numb to the changes.
So I wish there was a hybrid between Harmy's despecialized edition because not all of the changes were bad. Like the ships taking off and landing, way better in the special edition.
Like
it's just objectively, it's better. Like as opposed to little tiny dots in the horizon going shoo, shoo, shoo. It's actual ships. Like it's like that. That is good. But like there were too many bullshit things. Like hey, there's like entering into Mos Eisley as the speeder's going through. There's like 15 alien creatures that you can't even fully see, just like blocking your line of sight to the stuff that's actually happening in the scene. But yeah, so he's starting with the despecialized editions, and so he knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father going in, but I managed to get him like I never confirmed it, and I was always like questioning it, but like, what do you mean Darth Vader's Luke's father? And then when it got to the scene where Obi-Wan was explaining how Darth Vader betrayed and murdered your father, I was like, see, I told you. See, Darth Vader's not his father. See, Darth Vader killed his father.
Sneaky.
And so when it actually got to the reveal, I got to see the reaction. It was great because we were cuddled up on the couch watching it. And as soon as they started talking about like, oh, you never know what happened to your father, he like sat up and his eyes were wide. He's paying attention. Everything like, oh my god, even though it was spoiled for him, I still got it. Yeah. So it was fucking great that he got that reaction out of it, even though it was spoiled for him. So that's
nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That's definitely nice. I can appreciate that a lot. That was one of those things that so like my first Star Wars movie was Empire. So there was never I never had the moment of like not knowing who was what. Because when I was introduced to Star Wars, it was basically the parentals going like, oh, here's the best one. And then Empire's the best one. It's my favorite of the entire set.
You still got to start with the beginning of the story, which at this point is like, well, okay, the beginning of the story is Andor.
So I had this really weird situation where I had seen Empire, I had seen Return of the Jedi because my cousins had a copy of Return of the Jedi, and I had not seen A New Hope until I asked for the Star Wars movies for Christmas, and I got the gold box that has like the 2006 special editions.
The
And it has
VHS tapes?
no, it was the first release of the DVDs.
Oh, I got the gold
fourth,
VHS tapes, man.
because the fourth DVD was the making of Star Wars DVD with all the interviews and everything, and I got that. I still have that box.
Paul G is in one of those interviews, not from the special edition. He's from the prequels.
Yeah, I have that box, and the first thing I did when I got it was immediately went to my laptop, put A New Hope in, because I had never seen A New Hope. So my first interaction with The New Hope also was the version that has like all the aliens walking around Mos Eisley and shit, because it's the special edition that came out after episode 1. So
Well, I mean, I am also like, as much as I prefer the despecialized edition, I am not butthurt over the special edition, because you know what that enabled me to do as a child? See fucking Star Wars in the theater, because they re-released that shit. If they hadn't done the special edition, I would have only ever seen it on the little tiny CRT that we had.
It's every Star Wars movie is better in cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. It is a larger than life series. It deserves to be on a larger than life thing.
Yep. And because of the special edition, I was able to experience that. So I am not upset. I was the right age to actually enjoy Jar Jar Binks when the prequels came out. I even had the shirt of him doing the with the tongue sticking out.
See, I was in a weird spot where, like, so technically before I watched A New Hope, I watched episode 1 because I saw it in theaters as a kid. And I remember falling asleep in the theater in episode 1 and being just generally lukewarm about it, so much so that I didn't like Darth Maul, who's like objectively one of the coolest parts of episode 1.
Yeah, like that's one of the best fight scenes in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, so like I didn't like Maul. I didn't care for Anakin one way or the other. That part didn't register to me. But there were so many aspects of that movie that I just didn't like as a kid. And then, of course, Attack of the Clones didn't make me like it any more, because Attack of the Clones is worse than Phantom Menace in almost every way.
I had kind of the same experience with the prequel trilogy as I did with the sequel trilogy, is that I spent my entire childhood rewatching these 3 movies over and over and over again. And then they announced they were doing new ones. I was like, fuck, new Star Wars? All right, count me in. So, like, I just loved it. And, like, watching them back as an adult, I'm like, yeah, no, these are not good. These are bad movies. But I had fun with them. And I still have fun with them. And the sequel trilogy, less so, because, like, they didn't come out when I was a kid. So I don't, like, there is still a little bit of nostalgia around the prequels for me, even though they will never hold as dear a position in my heart as the original trilogy. But because the sequel trilogy came out with me as an adult, they have no fucking chance. Like, yep, that's the one where they ruined Star Wars. Let's move on to Andor. Have you seen Andor yet? Because it's fucking amazing.
I have seen Andor. I haven't seen all of Andor. I'm close to the end of season. We had this conversation before.
Yeah, but I assume you would have continued watching since then.
Unfortunately, the problem is that there's a giant list of things that Saki and I are watching, and on that list, we just rewatched all of the Star Wars movies. Like, that was
you've seen those already, so you should watch Andor first, because you know. So there's a new watch order. You watch all of Andor, then you watch Rogue One, then you watch New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, then you go back and watch the prequel trilogies without Episode 1, and then you come for Return of the Jedi, and fuck the sequels.
See, I still would like to watch episode 1 because I have realized, and maybe it's just because of current politics, that could be the problem. But because of current politics,
there's a lot that fits. Yes.
I like episode 1 a lot more because it seemed like a dumb movie in the Clinton era, but it seems like less of a dumb movie in the Trump era.
Okay, now that we're depressed about Star Wars, let's move on to Elon Musk. He's retweeting Andrew Colvett, who says, "We do not have enough people in prison in this country."
What?
And Elon Musk says, "True."
Why would we need more people in prison? We have the highest prison population of any first world fucking country.
Yeah, like 25% of the world's incarcerated population are in the States.
We are the incarceration capital.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
And Fennec's making it worse because America uses prisoners as slave labor. Yeah,
Yes, we do.
yeah, and that's bad.
Elon Musk is an idiot. I will be very happy the day he dies.
He's also an immigrant. Let's deport him.
He would still
Ice.
speak on Twitter. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I want the option where he doesn't speak on Twitter anymore.
Not if he's in an ICE detention facility. He would take his phone away. But that would never happen because he has money, and we know that if you have money, you're immune to laws.
Yeah, basically. Or if
like,
you're, the president of Honduras.
Yeah. Biggest drug trafficker in the world. Pardoned.
Yep.
You're on a boat. You're on a boat fishing and maybe trafficking some cocaine. You're dead.
Double
executed. Life, not life. Like you just executed. Like if they were actually guilty of the crimes they were being accused of, then it's a few years in prison. But rather than actually give them the chance to prove themselves innocent, or actually rather innocent until proven guilty, remember? They just execute them. Anyway, yeah. We're sad again.
We are.
Okay, Nick Adams says, this is the most honest, transparent, and ethical administration in American history. There's 5 years of winning, 0 scandals.
But what? But
so
Legal Eagle did an entire video
just
about
gonna
all
bring
the
that
fucking
up.
scandals.
It's not even all the scandals. It's just the 200 crimes that he's committed in this past year. Less than a year.
0 scandals.
Because, like, not every scandal is a crime. Because they're like, here's the thing. The thing that makes me so angry about this tweet is that it's just so, I mean, it's Nick Adams, so I don't know why I would expect any different, but it's just so fucking obviously dumb. It's like, a scandal is like when a bunch of people get mad at someone doing something that's against decorum.
And that objectively happens all the fucking time.
So, like, Obama's tan suit was a scandal.
That was objectively a scandal, yes.
It should not have been a scandal. It's weird that it was a scandal, but it was a scandal. You don't just get to say that it wasn't a scandal because you don't think it's scandalous. If people make a big deal out of it, it was a scandal.
And people made a big deal out of it. It was weird that they did, but they did.
This does remind me, in my video from a little while ago, I talked about the development of wings and how it happened in vertebrates 3 separate times. And one of them was the pterodactyl, and its pinky finger is like attached to like the wing membrane, which attaches to its foot. And I made a joke about how you should never drink tea with the pterodactyl because it'll always stick its pinky finger out further than you.
Okay.
And when I was searching, like before I had Piper draw me up a picture of a pterodactyl drinking tea with me, I was like, okay, I'll just use a picture or a video of someone drinking tea with their pinky out. And I came across this guy who's like this British guy who explains the various like etiquette and protocols,
the
and
Britishisms
of like, well, he knows the American ones as well, because like if you're eating in England, your fork is in your right hand, your tines are always facing down, and you cut with your left hand, and then you take your bite with the fork with the tines facing down or whatever. But if you're in America, you have your fork in your left hand and your knife in your right hand, and you cut the thing, and then after it's cut, you transfer the fork from your left hand to your right hand, and the tines facing up, you put it in your mouth and take your bite or whatever. And he's explaining all this bullshit. And in one of the videos I saw of him, somebody asked him the question like, why do we need this etiquette stuff? Why is it important? And his answer was like, oh, do you not say please and thank you? Of course etiquette is important. It's all about manners. It's saying please. It's like, okay, motherfucker, what hand your fork is in is not on the same level as being polite to other human beings. Nobody fucking cares, or nobody should fucking care what hand your fork is in when you're eating your dinner. Anyway, I got mad at the etiquette guy because he's like using the fact that we all prefer it when people are polite to say that it's important which hand your fork is in when you're cutting your meat.
Jeez.
I think etiquette is dumb. and I actually watched a video on that recently where they were talking about some of these specialized table cutlery things that they had like in the Victorian era, where there's like a specialized spoon specifically for dishing out your tomatoes, and a pair of scissors that are for cutting little bunches of grapes off of the bigger bunch of grapes and things like that. And how like the whole etiquette thing surrounding like how the proper way to do all this stuff is essentially rich people playing with their food before they eat it.
Use the salad fork, darling. Don't use the dinner fork.
Yeah,
They're
it's like,
different.
who fucking
They're
cares? It is
size
getting the food
difference.
from the table into my mouth. Why
That's
does it
what
matter?
a plebeian would say. That's what a plebeian would say. Don't listen to the commoners. Don't listen to the peasants. They know nothing of structure.
But I agree. It's just playing with your food for rich people.
That said, you had to pop away and you had had me entertain people. I'm gonna do the same thing. Bye.
Yours is going to poop.
Yep, that's not what's happening, but sure, why not?
That's what the emoji says. Marker of whether or not you belong to the in group. How did we get here? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm not paying attention to my own conversation. You think I know how we arrived at a particular endpoint? Etiquette thing helps create in-group and out-group. One of the fascinating things I did learn from that, though, is that the elbows on the table rule, apparently it actually originated from like back in medieval times when your table would not like be a proper table. It was just like a board held up on legs. So if you put your elbows on the table, it would actually like knock the whole thing over. And so that's why you're not supposed to put your elbows on the table. Not really relevant in today's day and age. I always thought it had to do with the service staff, because if your elbow's on the table, the service staff can't put your food in front of you. And maybe that's because I was a server for so long. It's so much easier serving people that do not have their elbows on the table. But at the same time, if somebody has their elbows on the table, I can just be like, "Excuse me, I've got your food." And then they go, "Oh, yes, thank you." And they take their elbows off the table, and then I can put the food down in front of them. But I don't, because it feels weird and makes my arms go numb. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I'm a forearms on the table kind of guy. I will lean on the table, but it's not usually elbow on. It's like I'll be leaning forearms on, and then I remember what like if I'm in a restaurant doing this, I'll remember what it's like being a server. That, and as soon as I see someone coming towards my table, I'll like back off and sit back and like, yep, nope, no elbows on the table this time. Yeah, are you guys hearing my chair? Because it is really squeaky to me. I don't know what's happening with my fucking chair, but the squeaking has gotten really nasty recently. It's actually a pain in the butt when I'm recording my main videos. Is like I actually have to like make a conscious effort to sit in specific ways that make the chair less squeaky. Hate it. Hate this chair. So you can all hear the chair. That now I'm self-conscious about the chair. You're supposed to lie to me and be like, "Nah, you don't need to." Might need to tighten the screws. What screws? I don't know. It was like the hinge on the pedestal is failing. Possibly. It's got that little thing that like stops it from leaning back, and that does occasionally like pop out and I almost fall backwards. WD-40 time. WD-40 is actually, my understanding is that it's actually pretty terrible for use cases like this. It's like it's kind of a temporary, like it's a temporary lube that like wears off really quickly, but it gives people a sense of security, so they end up damaging their stuff more. I do, however, have super lube right here. I should probably put some of that on there. That would probably help it. I have this because I 3D print, and this is needed for the lead screws. And I also love the name. It's super lube. It sounds sexual, but do not ever put that inside you. Sean Helfin, thank you for redeeming the hat. Let's see. World's okay is bisexual. You get the bisexual hat. Nope. WD-40 just sucks in general. Blasphemy.
I have returned.
You have returned. Let's make the shit go away. Hi.
But I'm still here.
We were talking about my squeaky chair, which is suddenly quiet.
WD-40 is great.
Not according to Paige Wilder, who is elaborating on me saying that WD-40 is not great for situations like this chair.
WD-40 is good. It's used for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, there are reasons why it shouldn't be used as well. Anyway, next tweet. Julia Hartley Brewer. So the mayor of London tweeted out a picture saying, today we celebrated 100 million free school meals provided to children in London state primary schools. This person said, they are not free. They are funded by taxpayers. Which means that the people that were eating
free
them...
is short for free at point of service. Yeah. Fuck off, idiot.
The people who were eating the meals did not pay for them. So
Jesus
they were
Christ.
free for them. And yeah, I will happily pay a little bit more in taxes if it means that kids don't go hungry.
Same here.
You know what? It would be great if we lived in a world where I didn't have to do a fundraiser every year for a food bank because everybody just had access to food. That would be amazing. I would love that. I would pay more in taxes for such a world. And I say this as someone who probably pays more taxes than the majority of the people in the world, or in my country at least. And honestly, it's crazy that well, no, it's not, actually. It's crazy that the people above me don't pay more. I'm in the income bracket where I get fucked over the most by taxes. I'm not rich enough to be able to hire accountants to hide everything, and I'm not poor enough that I get returns.
You and me both, my guy.
Yeah. And you know what? As much as I complain about it, I'm fucking happy to pay my taxes. I get so much out of government services that would cost so much more than I pay in taxes if it was done the way it's done in the States.
I had a fun conversation with a friend who was noting how his health insurance was going to be affordable. And made a thanks Obama joke, and then he was like, actually, that's probably one of the few things I should thank him for. Dude's very libertarian. And I said, yeah, the ACA was great. He's like, what's the ACA? So I explained what the ACA is, and he tried to spin it as, so you're telling me somebody scammed taxpayers, and I'm not even gonna lie, I just stopped him and just went, all right, we're gonna handle this, and I'm gonna treat you like an idiot. Because that's the opinion of a fucking idiot. And normally I would not be that mean to friends of mine, but this time I was mean to that particular friend and just said, no, that is not what happened. So we actually sat down and I said, here's what we're going to do. You're going to show me your W-2. You're going to show me the amount of money you pay in taxes. I'm going to show you the amount of money that healthcare costs. And you're going to see that you're actually getting more money back from your taxes because of the ACA specifically. Shut the fuck up.
So, American healthcare, like, as much as y'all say, like, oh, we'd have to raise taxes to pay, because your healthcare costs are so expensive in the States, you guys already pay more from your taxes for socialized healthcare than any country that actually has socialized healthcare. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. You guys need to fucking get rid of your insurance companies that the whole purpose of their existence is to make a profit off of you being sick.
Mm-hmm.
That is the whole purpose of their existence. Just get rid of them. Just do socialized healthcare for everyone. And then you fucking... Hashtag free Luigi. Luigi allegedly did nothing wrong.
Did you see the picture of Luigi Mangione in the courtroom where they had one of the most famous, I think bailiff? Yeah, famous bailiffs in the, like, they specifically had them there as well, probably as a way to
know that famous bailiffs were a thing.
So apparently it's a thing the same way that, like, World Star videos make people famous, where...
I'm sorry, what videos?
World Star.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so World Star is an old style of video where people would engage in violence out in public and people would film it and then put it on the internet. And people would
Okay,
get
so it's
would
Twitter.
go viral.
So it's Twitter.
Yeah. So there are a lot of reels and just in general videos out there now of courtrooms where people do stupid things and those videos go semi-viral. So apparently the bailiff that was in the courtroom right now with Luigi Mangione is one who's internet famous for some reason or another. That's what
Okay.
I've been reading.
Okay. I know nothing about that. Okay, so Terrible posted these two guys saying just two dads with their newborn daughter. Cute picture, very sweet. For anyone who doesn't know, the reason they're both top, they're doing skin to skin, which is a very scientifically well documented that there are benefits for the baby to as soon as possible get skin on skin contact. That's why when my oldest child was born, I was actually the first person to breastfeed them because their mother was in recovery, and so I did the skin to skin, and that's a baby's first reaction is there's a nipple. So didn't get much food out of that breastfeeding, but it was like, what's that? Oh, that's let's nope, that's
Let's not.
Yeah. It was a weird experience. I will say that. But it is
I can
good for the
imagine
baby.
so.
Bridget Gabriel says, why are they in a hospital bed? Probably because they're at the hospital where the baby was born. I don't know whether this was a surrogate situation or whether it was an adoption situation. Either way, they're there when the baby's born so that they can do the skin to skin and do the bonding thing. Great for the baby. And then Defi Dalgal, I don't know what that's supposed to be, says, Dear Jesus, please protect that darling child from the evil that surrounds her. Amen. I'd just like to know.
It's two men, not a man.
True. I would like to note, though, that the evil that surrounds her are people like this person who think that it's not okay to be gay.
Yeah.
Because that kid is going to have a harder life in the States because she has, I'm assuming she based on the pink hat, but I don't know. The kid is going to have a harder time in life just based on the fact that they have two dads. I wish that was more normalized.
This is like Mike Winger doing the his secular argument against homosexuality, and with all the numbers he brings up, eventually, no, he watches video. It's very stupid.
It's Mike Winger, so that goes without saying.
So the end result with every single statistic is that there's social pressure against people who are gay, and that causes things like suicide rates to go up and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Mike Winger's doing his video about, you should think twice before being gay, basically, because of these statistics. Like, Mike, those statistics created that world because of people like you making that happen. Like, that's what happened. You're a moron.
He is a moron.
The only good thing Mike Winger ever did was condemn the NIFB.
And he did that very lacklusterly. There's a video that I have on Mike Winger where he's talking about how atheists are really bad at context. Like, oh, they laugh at you if you say that you need to read things in context. And then he tries to give context that makes that time when Moses commanded the Israelite army to take a bunch of sex slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, any woman who is not known to man, take her for yourselves. He was trying to defend that. And he accidentally jumped to a different genocide that the Israelite army was committing and got confused and was like, oh, I've been calling them the Moabites, but they were actually the Midianites, so I apologize for that. It's the Midianites. It's like, no, you are correct. The other one was the Moabites. These are the Midianites. It's a different genocide. Because I am the one who's actually providing context here.
That doesn't make it better, my guy.
Yeah. And he actually brought up the rules, the rules of warfare from Deuteronomy 20, which if you read those things, it's fucking terrifying. But like he brought that up as a point that he thought was in his favor. That like after you have killed this woman's entire family, you bring her into your house, you let her mourn her family for 1 month, then you rape her, and if you don't like her after that, after you've raped her, you can send her loose. And he brought that up, being like, see, it's a wife situation, not a sex slave situation. Like, okay, Mike, did she get a choice in this matter? She didn't get a choice. You just killed her family, and you now get to sleep with her after a month. That's called rape. That's sex slavery. And, like, it's a culture where a single woman who has been raped is basically the only way she's going to be able to support herself if she doesn't have a husband is through prostitution. So, like, her choice are to stay with this one rapist or be a prostitute, which there's nothing wrong with being a prostitute if you want to do that. But I imagine most of these women did not want to do that.
You have to want to do that.
You have to want to do that for it to be okay. So yeah, that he's so bad at his job.
Lenari says, "What's wrong with that dude?" With Mike Winger,
A lot.
He has a religion to sell you.
Now, to be fair, recently he has been taking on like a bunch of the megachurch pastors and explaining why they're pretty bad. But like he's incapable of turning that same lens inward and be like, hey, maybe I'm saying some bad things.
Yeah, like my thing with Mike Winger, I think he could be a wonderful voice for good. I wish that he would use those resources that way more often.
I mean, that is most of what he does nowadays. Because like he's one of the people that like algorithmically he does well. So like I will do a Mike Winger video when I feel like my numbers are dipping, but there's not much of his new stuff that is really doable for me because it's all him being like Benny Hinn's evil. Here's why. I'm like, I agree. That's not response video material.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that was the last tweet.
That was the last tweet. Hey, we didn't make it to 11.
We didn't make it to 11. I get to have an early evening where I'm going to go curl up in my bed next to my partner, and we're going to sit there and be like, we're both exhausted.
Fair enough.
And y'all are going to laugh at me for this. There was a child. Yeah, no driveway pizza. No, not this time. She's over pizza, which is good for me because I've been over pizza for a long time, but she hasn't. So there's been a lot of pizza, and I'm just like, oh, I want real food. Yeah, no. So there was a child who is the youngest child in the house, sleeps naked. And the other day, she came into our room to cuddle Mummy, and she was still naked, and she ended up on my side of the bed naked. I'm like, I can't use that blanket because there was a naked child on it. That has to be washed. And I was planning on putting it in the wash tonight. But then my partner got home and was like, I am exhausted. I am tired. I have to get, like, I can't. So she's curled up in the bed. I'm like, well, I'm not going to take the sheets out from under her and the blanket off of her while she's curled up in bed. So I have like my own separate sheet and blanket in our bed. So like I say we're going to be curled up together, but like she's in her own blanket and I'm in my own blanket because I can't use that blanket because a naked kid was on it. That's actually, so that this might be a hot take, but like the reason I don't understand pedophilia is that kids are gross. Why would you want to be anywhere near a naked child? Ew.
That is an argument, sure.
Like, I mean, I get it from other angles as well, but like that is my first thing is like kids are gross. Why would you want that? Like, no. But yeah, no, I should have washed the sheets earlier.
Well,
so I have my own blanket.
Do you not have multiple blankets?
Well, yeah, there's 2 on my own bed right now.
Fair enough.
What we don't have is multiple sets of sheets, because otherwise I would just change the whole thing out. Because bed sheets are surprisingly expensive, believe it or not.
Yeah, they are, and I don't like that.
Yeah, neither do I.
Especially if you want to get any with a good enough thread count.
Agamotto13 says, people are gross. Why would I want to be near a naked one of any age? So that's where my partner will... She calls me out on my hypocrisy all the time, because when it comes to sex stuff, I can be gross. Like, there are things that I do when I'm, like, in the midst of the whatever the fuck or whatever, where it's like, after all is said and done, I will like look back on what I did and be like, that is disgusting. Why would I do that? No, ew. But like in the moment, it's like, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm not into scat, thanks.
No, not scat. No, that absolutely not. I will let anyone believe anything about me, but not that.
I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that.
So Phoenix is like, wait, what do you do? It's not anything like terribly bad. It's just stuff that like ordinarily it's just like outside of a sexual situation, it is something that would be like, no, this needs to be sterilized. That is disgusting. Get it away. Like just like bodily fluids, for instance. There's mucus that happens down there. It does not bother me.
Okay.
Like, it's nothing terribly bad. It's just stuff that like my normal autistic everything has to be cleaned perfectly brain just would like, I don't know. This is turning into too much information. Let's just end the stream. I think I fixed the credits. I don't think it's Dean Cain anymore. So yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody. As always, fuck off.